So this job that we're starting this week, let me show you what it is. It's a full heating system. So we've got no radiators here, as you can see. Plan is, and we're going to chisel all the walls out. So chisel, rad there. Just standard. Another rad here in the hallway. We're putting a rad in that corner there. Drop down there, and then the boiler is going right there. Nice little gap there. At the minute, it's powered up. It's heated up from this electric water here. So this is all going to be pulled out, ripped out. New bathroom, but we're not doing the bathroom. We're just doing the heating. Probably put a rad in here, somewhere around here. Probably chisel it out. So yeah, so I'll post more about this as and when upstairs and everything as well. But there's no point showing you anything up there. We're going to do a first fix on an ensuite up there as well. But nothing's up there. Well, let's have a quick look. Yeah, so they've knocked all this out because it was hollow. They called it a Jack and Jill. It's going to be a Jack and Jill bathroom or something like that, they were saying. So it's going to be a door there, maybe a door here, toilet, shower, I don't know where. I don't actually know where they're putting it, but we're first fixing that. And the waste pipe, we're basically going down, up, across the ceiling, across here, into the stack, which is just there. So we'll come back to this at a later time. So a couple hours in now, supplies have come, as you can see. I've checked it all out. We've got everything we need. Let me show you what we've actually done at the minute. So I've created the sleeves for the pipework, which is going to the boiler, flow, return, gas, hot, cold. That's all done because the boiler is going in this little void here. Phone's in here. So chisel out this wall there, ready for the drop to go there, and then we've also chiseled out and getting this one ready for here. So what we've decided to do, the drop's going down there. That area is too small for a radiator for the size of this room, so it's going to go under the window now. The pipes will run under here, out there, and then we'll have drain offs going outside there, so you have nice external drain offs. This is the issue with tiling everything. I've been called to a flat where they've got a leak. But some guy has actually thought about making a little access panel here, which is able to take out. So I've cut the silicone out, whatever. I've taken it out. Now, let's see if I can find this leak. There it is, right there. It's leaking from this here. The whole waste actually is loose. Needs a new bath waste and it should be good to go. And this right here is a really good quality sink trap. So normally I'd fit a bog standard cheap one like this, but the issue that we have, there's no movement in the trap. I can't move the trap because it's on. So what I always do when fitting any type of bath waste, I'll always whack a little bit of silicone on it. So that bit of blob of silicone you've seen at the start was literally just to hold that rub in place. It does nothing else. The second one here is the most important one here. I know people use plumber's mate and stuff like that, but silicone, there's no issues going forward. I've changed that little trap washer, as you can see as well, because that was deteriorated. The guy before actually had a bit of PTFE around it, so I think he had issues with it maybe. And that was it really. Push this in, no silicone, nothing needed here, just that rubber washer. Tighten it up, hand tight. Really good quality this was, and I had to use my grips to tighten up the trap, the waste bit. He's testing the waste now. Believe it or not, this plug is a bit mad. Look, it just pulls off like that, but when you put it in there, it actually seals when you just close it like that. I've never seen a waste stacked like that. It's actually really good quality waste. It's a high life if anybody wants it, yeah. Actually, probably one of the best quality ones I've seen. Everything about it, the way the threads are here, how thick the washers are. You probably noticed how thick that washer was. As you can see, look, there's no leaks there now. I'm just going to put this back together here, maybe silicone it how they've done it, so I can only leave it as good as they initially had it. Now I'm just testing it just to make sure there's no leaks. Now this job here, the first part of this job you can't see, I was called out, it was an emergency call out, and it was leaking from these auto fill valves and the baxi ones, the easy filling links. Now I've had a lot of people on forums and stuff like that saying that these are leaking. And I've just showed you there how I put it together. You know, I always put it together like that, exactly on all my installs. Bit of silicone grease, push it all on together, tighten it with the nuts, flow returns open, cold, nice and easy. For any more infos, have a look at my how to fit baxi videos on my YouTube channel. What I've got today in the morning is to fit this radiator. There's my van. And the rad's going right there. Nice and easy. So what I've done, customer wanted to fit these old valves, so I said no, let's change them, let's put some new ones on. So I've put one with the drain off, no PTFE needed with this, was a rubber washer. The thread's gone in there, put a bit of PTFE around there, that's in. And then we're in a new build with 10mm. So I've put this push fit type of stuff there. And these elbows are really good. Push fit pipe, which you'll see I've got here. So now I'm just going to put the bleed vents in. Again, no PTFE in that needed because there's already rubber washers there. So this is what we're going off right now. Put that on top here. So a bit of push fit pipe here, as you can see, speed fit. It was just easier to do this job in speed fit. Normally would have done it copper, anything that's on show would use copper, but because it's a new build and it had plastic everywhere, it made no difference. And even though the angle that we're looking at the recording from is at the bottom, nobody will be able to see this pipe, you won't be able to see that gap underneath. And one of the main things to take away from me is the silicone grease that I use, yeah? Always silicone grease these rubber O-rings and make sure you push them in fully. So let's see if I have these inserts. I hope I have them. Here they are. Inserts. Get me out of the crap. 1, 2, 3. What I've done, as you can see, I've pre-plumbed everything, so I've got it all ready. Tighten that up, close that. Tighten that up, close that. This is where it needs to be. This is the size it needs to be. Now I'm just going to snatch it. It's a gravity. It's a vented system actually. It's a pump vented system. I don't want to drain down if I don't have to. So I've took the rad off the wall, as you can see. Make my knife as easy as possible. Pulled off the caps and I literally snatched it. It was done within a couple of seconds. The pressure wasn't that great, to be fair, and you know, I prepared for everything by putting towel down and a little bucket. One of the main reasons I wanted to snatch here is because it was a vented system. You know what vented systems are like, you get airlocks and stuff like that, so just to speed up the job and so we had no issues going forward, just a quick snatch and we were good to go. Now this is one of the advantages of push fit, of how easy and versatile it is. So we've got another boiler repair here. It's a Potterton Gold Combi HE. The issue that we have here is constant dropping of pressure. So 100% PRV is dripping, because you can check it from outside. The diverter cartridge is not in the best of condition, so we're changing that. Recharging expansion vessel and changing auto air vent. So I've come here to basically service the boiler, but then I've found all these faults and I've sort all these out. And I'm starting off by, I've drained it, from the drain off there. Yes, actually I started off because I've isolated it, yeah, slow returns. Open up the drain off there into the bucket. Now I need to charge this vessel, and I've had to take this off in order to get to the actual pin, which is there, yeah. So now I'm going to take this off. Put a bit of my silicone grease on it, my little trick with the silicone grease on here. This trick just stops you from having to change the pin basically all the time. I've put my little extension on it. Pump's connected. Yes, I do still use a manual pump. So I'll pump this up to 1 bar now. You can see the water flying out of there. Pump away, pump away. Drain all this. Let's undo this auto air vent. Not completely drained because all the air is leaving the system. Stiff, man. Whack the new cartridge in. Something's wrong because I think something's stuck. Let me pick this phone call up. The shudder valve is leaking, even with the silicone trick. You don't always sort it, very rare. It's the first time this year I'm having to change the shudder. But you need this tool if you are. See, I don't need to take the expansion vessel out, which is a big plus. I have loads of shredders basically in here. Let's change that. PRV seating is very dirty, so I've pulled it out, and what I always like to do is get a flathead in there. As you can see, small flathead, and I'll get a big flathead and give it a good clean. And then what you can do is actually just change the head instead of replacing the whole body, but you get rid of the body, so either way you are using the body, but you don't necessarily need to take the body out. Sorted. PRV's done. Diverter's done. Now I need to do the AAV. AAV's in. This boiler, that vessel was flat. There's a lot of water. I've done the repair, filled the boiler up, and look what was happening. No power, yeah. So I've turned it on from there. I've turned it on from there. I'm thinking, am I getting power? Let me check. So I've pulled it out, and look, this was too tight. Because it was too tight, it's actually teared it off, yeah. So the moral of the story is don't panic, because sometimes what happens when you're repairing boilers, you do everything, you know, shit, why is it not working and stuff like that. So look at the basics, keep calm. Worst case scenario, you're gonna have to get a new board or, you know, something like that. Anyway, let me strip this and sort this out. The board is back together, sorted that out, it worked as I said. And what I always do is turn the gas off from the bottom there. I'm just going to purge the system, a little bit of air out of there. I've got the hot tap running in the back, let the air get out of here. Then I'll put the heating on, same thing, let it lock out once or twice. Once I'm happy all the air is out of the system, then I'll fire it all up. The boiler's all back on. Let's whack in a maximum. 1, 2. It's probably not going to work. And bang, it worked first go. Whack in maximum. and it should be, so what I'm looking at is the CO2 percentage, yeah? I'm looking at other things as well. Most importantly, CO2 percentage should be 8.7 plus or minus 0.2. Let's see what it goes to. So that needs a little bit of adjusting. It's not that far out. A little bit of adjusting. The maximum is going to be there. Alright, 9.1. Let's have a little guess. I always forget what way to twist it. So I've gone anti-clockwise there. Let's see if it goes down. I want 8.7 plus or minus 2. What's going to happen? Oh, wrong way. Yeah. So I need to go clockwise. That's okay. Give it a little bit more. So that will be maximum done. Now I'll check minimum out. Turn that to 0, well, minimum there. Look at that. Recharging that vessel was a great idea. Because as you can see now, the pressure's not rising, yeah? So if you have any issues with pressure's rising and stuff like that, it's always vessel. That's why you should always recharge the vessel. Always. So minimum should be 8.4 plus or minus 2. That's within the range. So this is near enough done now. An update on the project. So that's one drop in there, as you can see. The fouts in. And we've got the pipe work there ready. So it's going to go into there. So for another rad, which is here. And then you've got another drop in there. As you can see, that's ready. We've also put the soil pipe in there, as you can see. Nice little fall on it there. This drops in. Just left it up there, and then we've got this drop in here as well. So we've done it everywhere. Just pulling out this bathroom now. This week, this is the progression done on this house here, because tomorrow is Friday, and I'm celebrating Eid tomorrow. So I'll have a day off. And Kurt's will most likely be on a few other smaller jobs which we've got to get done.